It was
85, 95, 77.
it was Senator Kennedy who suggested that when the time arrived, there'd be a gathering like this. And he selected as the venue this library, where politics and public service are honored every day in the name of his brothers. Thinking back upon other times when we have felt the ache of emptiness, he was the one from whom we draw comfort and strength. And I suspect tonight will be no different. I have never met anyone whose spirits were not uplifted by being in the company of Ted Kennedy. And I hope you will feel that way once again when you leave his presence this evening. He wanted us to smile and be joyful as we remember and celebrate the depth of his faith, the quality of his character, the generosity of his heart, his love of his family and his friends, his patriotic service to his Commonwealth and country, and his countless contributions to the human spirit. For myself, I can say that Senator Kennedy was the most thoughtful, genuinely considerate human being I have ever known. He suffered from the constant pain of a shattered back, and he bore more hurt and heartache than most humans are ever asked to endure. But at every opportunity, he brought hope and joy and optimism to more people than we will ever know. Each of you have your own memories, but all of us would agree Ted Kennedy was fun. He loved to laugh, and he loved to make us laugh. He loved good music, and he loved to sing. Conducting the Boston Pops or the Harvard Band, leading the traditional July 4th or Thanksgiving Day sing-alongs with his friends and his family at his home on the Cape. And he loved to tell a good story. One of his favorites, which you no doubt have heard, went back to when he was 30 years old and made his first run for the Senate. And he was in a debate with his opponent who questioned his qualifications and pointed his finger at him and said, "You never even had a full-time job." And the next morning at one of these plants at 6 a.m., he's out there greeting people, and this big iron worker comes up and puts out his hand. Says, "Kennedy, I heard what they said about you last night. You never worked a day in your life. Let me tell you something. You haven't missed a thing." He loved that story. He hosted annual dinners for his aging Harvard football buddies, swapping stories of the glory days. He'd laugh with that uproarious and unforgettable laugh and remind us, the older we get, the better we were. But painting a seascape, enjoying the affection of his faithful dog Splash, sailing the Maya with family and friends. For those of us who were inspired by his unmatchable work ethic, to see him relax and enjoy the love of friends and family was our reward as well. To know Senator Kennedy well was to understand the quiet depth of the faith that guided him. He espoused the value of politics, but he practiced the politics of gospel values. He didn't preach about faith, but he was tireless in the practice of these tenets. The purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. Always be hopeful and make the most of every moment. Persevere and be strong, no matter the adversity. Be the best you can be at what you choose to do. And serve your neighbors with joy and love and make a positive difference in their lives. During these last several months, Senator Kennedy was gratified, as we all were, to have seen the outpouring of thanks for a lifetime of inspirational service and of love for him as a human being. An honorary degree from Harvard, the knighthood from the government of Great Britain, the John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage Award, an outpouring of contributions to the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the United States Senate, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And the list goes on. These honors are contemporary acknowledgments of what American history will ultimately record. That no individual legislator from any state, of either House of Congress, of any political party, worked harder or longer, with greater adherence to principle, or with more political courage for economic and social justice and for world peace than our own Edward M. Kennedy. He was the best at what he chose to do, and he left his indelible mark as the most accomplished and effective legislator in the history of this democracy. He believed and often said that America is a promise of our founding fathers passed on to each succeeding generation to fulfill. He chose politics as the means to fulfill his promise, reminding us that to whom much is given, much is expected. Gene Scheer gives voice to the life of selfless and patriotic service of our friend in these words of his hymn, American Anthem. All we've been given by those who came before, the dream of a nation whose freedom would endure. The work and prayers of centuries have brought us to this day. What shall be our legacy? What will our children say? Let them say of me, I was one who believed in sharing the blessings I received. Let me know in my heart, when my days are through, America, America, I gave my best to you. Be at peace, my friend. America will be in your debt forever. I knew you'd agree with me. Please join